Hey guys, what's going on? We're on another tech video today and we are talking about two controllers, the Valve Knuckles controllers, obviously, and the Oculus Touch controllers, which I have two versions of because I own the Rift S and the Quest 2. So yeah, this is going to be a strange video. If you're interested, stay tuned because we're going to be talking about a lot of things and why I think the reason the Valve Knuckles controllers break easy. My personal reason. Yeah, so stay tuned and please like the video if you do like it, and yeah, and follow me on the social medias wherever I am, if you want to, of course. So first we're going to be talking about the Oculus Touch controllers, aka the Rift S ones and the Quest 2. Now you're probably thinking, why are you talking about both of them? They're kind of different, but they're pretty much the same. So either one that you talk about, it's kind of the same. They've just kind of like, with the Quest 2, they've kind of made it a bit bigger. Kind of in a way, like a tiny little bit bigger, which I'll show you in a second. But so if you started with Oculus like I did, I started with a Rift S, then the Quest 2, and then the Valve Index. I did have a HTC Vive with the controllers with the ones. Let's not talk about the HTC Vive. Let's just not. Anyway, the Oculus Touch controllers are very simple to use. They're easy to get a handle with. They're basically like a controller of a controller that you would think with buttons. So if I bring the Rift S ones right now on the screen, which these, you know, the black ones, and they're pretty much, you know, they've got buttons on, they've got a trigger, they've got a grip button here, where you would get used to gripping, you know, if you want to pick up a gun or you want to reload a gun or you want to hold something in a VR game, you would hold that button down because you're gripping on the controller, right? Which is simple. You understand that. You can feel the button of that. Now this is where I go to the Valve Index and talk to you about the grip button. There is no button for the grip button. It's a sensor. It's a sensor that knows how hard you're holding it and it knows if your fingers are on it. Now, I don't know about you guys when you have been playing games, but there's a kind of a problem with that. When you've been with Oculus for a bit and you play games normally and your brain is kind of like, okay, there's that feeling of there's a button there. You click on the button and you know you're clicking the button. Your brain implants that you know your button is there. There's no kind of tactical feedback that your fingers are on the sensors. So let's just say when I've been playing a game, I've been playing like Hell Splitter Arena, which is a VR game and it's like a sword. I don't realize that, personally me, I don't realize I'm constantly like that on the Valve controller. I'm constantly holding the button. Like I'm always on like gripping, but I'm not gripping anything at all because I think the controller is going to drop out my arm, if you know what I mean. And it's kind of weird to get used to because with this, I hold it like this with, you know, the Quest or, you know, the Quest 2, the Oculus controllers. I hold it like this, so I know I'm holding it. And when I want to grip, I click that button, and you can feel the tactical function of it. With the Rift controllers, you have to obviously put your arm in it like that and then pull it. But when I do that, I feel like it's going to drop, even though it's not. And it might be just me. It might be just me getting around it. But most of the time, I'm always like that, and I can't help doing that. I need to. It's personally for me because I'm still getting used to it, and I've been from obviously Oculus controllers, so it's kind of my brain getting used to it. But I can understand why the Valve Knuckles controllers kind of get broken easy because people are constantly gripping like this, which makes sense if you've come from a Quest controller because you're always holding it like this, right? So say for me, it might be just me. I might be the only person in the world that does this. But if you come from a Quest to a Valve Index and you're excited for the Valve Knuckles controllers, your brain might be faster than my brain, but you have to have the mindset to hold it like this, right? Not like this. because you will be holding it like this if you've been with the Oculus Touch, if you know what I mean, because it's what you think to do is right. Because if you hold it like that, you feel like it's going to drop, even though it's secure on your hand. Your hand's not gripping anything, if you know what I mean, which this can cause a problem in the long run, because you're constantly touching the gripping sensor, which is here, and it knows how much pressure you're putting onto it, which I'm guessing it's got a usage like a mouse or like any buttons, how many times you can use it and how times you can click it or hold it, how much pressure you can put onto it, which is kind of normal because that's technology nowadays. But yeah, it's kind of weird, but I always hold it like that and I can't help it. Some people can probably hold it like that, but it's weird because I like to grip it. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a learning curve if you've come from obviously the Oculus base or any other controller really, because any other controller you're gripping it. With this, you've kind of got to go palms, like pretend you're waving at someone constantly. That's all I can say. But either way, the controller's great. It's got its few problems that I've had with, and obviously how I'm seeing it is the Valve knuckles are kind of like advanced for experts, and the Oculus controllers are kind of like simple, basically simple. It's like the easy mode, which I can, to be honest, sometimes I like that. You know what button does what. Anybody can pick this controller up, right? And I'm not kidding you, because I've tried it on my family, I've tried it on my mum, I've tried it on my sister, I've tried it on my dad, and anybody picked up this controller and they automatically knew what the buttons did. I am not joking you. They automatically knew what the grip button was. They knew what the trigger was. It's simple, but it works effectively. Facebook knows how to do its controllers. Oculus knows how to do its controllers. Whatever you call them, they know how to do the controllers. It's very simple. Valve Index, if I gave this to my mum, my sister, my dad, they wouldn't know what that is. Honestly, they wouldn't know what that is. They wouldn't know there's a sensor there at all. They would just think it's a handle. And I understand, because there's no I can't help it. There's no function that you don't know there's a button there. For me, if I'm in VR or anybody in VR, you wouldn't, and someone passes you this controller, you wouldn't know there's a button there. You'll just think it's a handle. You'd think it's a grip, and you'll constantly grip it like this. And you'll be thinking, where's the grip button? Until you found out, oh, there's a sensor. Which makes sense, I guess it's hidden, but I would like that, I don't know, a little bit of a tactical function. Like it's a button, and it's there and you can feel it, either a vibration when you're holding it, like a little vibration, oh, you are gripping it or something, anything, even if it's a little clicking that you're holding it. I don't know, I think it's cool that there's a sensor and you can move your fingers in VR, but I don't know, it sometimes gets confusing. Now I just want to show you the quick thing of the Rift to the Oculus Quest 2 controllers, how different they are. So basically, as you can see, it's kind of a bit bigger. So this is the Rift S and this is the Quest 2. They've made it a bit more bigger because reasons? No idea. They function the same, they work the same, they do the same. But yeah. But like I say, I can understand why the Valve Knuckles controllers get broken easy, because you're constantly gripping on that. Now let's talk about something else. Obviously I played games with the Valve Index controllers and the Quest controllers. The Quest controller and the Rift S controller, I played games with both of them, and I played with the Knuckles, different games. Now I can honestly say I've never had a problem with the Oculus controllers. Never at all. Only a few things when, I don't know, the sensors got knocked out, which... Okay, no. So sometimes when, you know, you're playing games that, like, it's a massive circle, right? And the sensor's like around here, all around there. And sometimes this, like, the in-camera doesn't pick it up beyond the Rift S. Sometimes that's just personally because it was either dark or something and you didn't see it. Maybe my problem. The other thing is, I think the rings are too big. They need to simplify it to make it a bit smaller, because say if you're playing, like, I don't know, a game that you need to reload or something, you're hitting your controllers all together and it's really annoying. That's another thing that I hate about it. But I never had a problem with them. The buttons have always been fine. They've always worked. Simple. I know what, every game that I go into, I don't have to look at the controllers because I know how they work. I don't have to look at the key binding or anything because I figure it out on the spot. Now, coming to the Valve Index. The Valve Knuckles, let's just say. Have I had a problem with them? Yes, I have. The main problem is the gripping problem that I've said. So, I don't realize that I'm doing it. It's more of a problem to myself, not the controller, but I don't realize that I'm gripping when I am. And I kind of pick up, like, say, stuff on my body, like I pick up my sword when I didn't want to pick up my sword. I pick up my potions when I didn't want to pick up my potions. I pick up ammo when I don't want to pick up ammo. It happens because I'm gripping, because I'm constantly gripping and I don't realize it. That's personally my problem. And another thing, when I was playing, I did a stream yesterday. If you guys watched it, or you can rewatch it, it's the zombie one where you're in the train station. I can't remember the game called. It begins with a P something. Anyway, it's a free game. You can download it and play it. And so you pick up it like this, right? Which is normal. You grip the gun like this and you fire, right? After a certain amount of time, my hand really started to hurt, like when I was holding onto this. I don't know if I was putting too much pressure onto it, but it was really hurting. And I don't know why. I had to do it like that because it was constantly pushing in there, and I never felt that. I've never felt that before on the, like, the Quest controllers. I mean the Oculus controllers. I've never felt that before. And I don't know if it's because I was putting too much pressure onto it or something. And it was kind of weird. And I just, it really hurt after a while. And I don't know why. I think personally it was me putting too much pressure onto him. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I've always looked excited for using the Knuckles controllers, and don't get me wrong, they are cool. Like the finger touching, like if you go in VR chat, you can move your fingers and that. But I find it's kind of don't get me wrong, I think the controllers are great, how they work and stuff like that with the sensors. But I find it's more of a novelty than you need it, if you know what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong, you'll go in VR chat, you'll go in different games, oh yeah, I can move my fingers, I can do that, and then eventually it'll wear off and you're like, okay, cool, let me just reload my gun and shoot, if you know what I mean. It'll wear off. It's kind of like full body. I have full body, I have the Vive trackers and stuff like that, and I go into VR, put full body on for the first time, I was like, wow, that's amazing, and then after a couple of days, it's like, okay, cool. I don't know, that's how I think personally. It's a novelty, you don't need it, but if you've got the money and you want it, then it's cool. But you don't really need it. Does it improve your gameplay? No, it doesn't. Does it improve your immersion? Kind of a little bit, not a lot, like moving your fingers, but it's there. The controllers are great, but I think they still need a better version of them. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't know. Maybe it's just me nitpicking because I was so excited to try these. But I don't know. I'm not saying they're bad controllers, and I'm not saying the Quest controllers are bad. They're both good in a certain way. It's just these are more simple. These are more advanced, and these can be more simple if you get used to it and get your brain around that you're not using Quest or Oculus controllers. But yeah, I guess that is it. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and I don't want to bash any controllers because obviously I can't make controllers, and any controllers that I use you will get used to in the long run, but everybody's got their own opinion, everybody's got their own way of using things, and I hope you guys find this useful, and let me know in the comments what you guys like. Do you like the Valve Index controllers? Do you like the Oculus controllers? Or do you even like the HTC Vive controllers or any other controllers out there? Let me know in the comments. It can not even be VR controllers. It can be any controllers. Tell me about your controllers, what you like. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smack the like button if you do and you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys next time on whatever I do. Bye.